Hello again, lockpicking Paul here, and what I'm doing tonight is a follow-up video. A while ago I made a pick as a result of an entry into Terry B's giveaway competition. This is the pick, it's the Katana pick, and the competition, it was a design, it wasn't actually a pick to be made. It started life as this drawing. Just a freehand sketch, and I wasn't sure if I was ever going to make it, but a few people saw it and they said, you know what, you should give that a go. And so I agreed I would give it a go. A member of the UK Locksport forum sent me some pick steel. He sent me a wide bit. There's a member called Gaz. Sorry, I should say thank you again, Gaz, for starting me off on this journey. So he sent me a wide bit and he sent me a narrow bit. This is the narrow bit, and I made two picks. So this one as well, which is made with the wide metal. So I've got like a matched pair. Now this one I'm only just starting to use, and I've actually had some fair results with it, but I haven't used it anywhere near as much as I've used the narrow one. And I've had a lot of success with this, both single pin picking and rocking locks. If I use it upside down, it will rock over standard pins and wafers, an absolute treat. Gets quite good results. So I've had a few people watch several of the videos that this pick has appeared in, and they said, would you mind releasing the dimensions? Which is a slight problem because there were never any dimensions for this pick. That drawing is the sum total of what existed before I made this. And what I did when I got the steel, I got my linisher, which is basically a belt sander or a belt grinder, and I just worked the metal until it looked right. So a process probably a lot more in common with sculpture than it is engineering. And that wasn't meant to sound pretentious, it's just the process that I followed. I took metal off until it looked right. That said, I have traced around this and taken a whole bunch of measurements in the interests of trying to share information, and hopefully someone will have a go and make themselves a pick which will be quite effective. I will say it took a little bit of time to get used to this and get my head around using it, because it does pick quite differently to a standard hook. But once you get comfortable with it, pretty fair results. So I'll show you the information I've come up with, and hopefully this will be useful. So if I just sit this on here, you'll see it's a pretty much a perfect fit on the paper. I'm not doing a very good job of that. There you go. Sits over the diagram, an absolute treat. So what this is, the metal I believe is 0.6 of a millimeter thick, which is kind of ideal for a pick that is this narrow and is going to be this pointy at the end, because you actually want it to have some strength in that tip. And if you'd made that out of 0.4 or something like that, chances are that tip would have just bent by now. You do have to be gentle with this. There's not a lot of metal in the end of that tip. Now, I've never bent it, but I do find myself using very light tension when I'm using this pick, for fear of bending it. But actually, that's not a bad thing, actually, because it seems to work well on certainly 1100 padlocks. Oh, it loves those. So just to walk through the dimensions and a couple of things about this. The tip, sort of a front 20 millimeters of the tip, is 1 millimeter tapering all the way back to the 7 millimeter main body. And to give an indication sort of where the widths are, I measured at these points, and you can see that that's just a taper, and the curve there, I couldn't tell you the angle, was literally me rolling it on the belt sander until it looked right. And the same with the top curve, again rolling it on the belt sander until it looked right. You'll notice that the drop between the tip and the top of the body is 7 millimeters, which is the width of the pick steel. So all that is a curve underground and a curved cut on top, or ground on top. So I haven't done anything too clever there. I've just removed metal from underneath and I've removed metal from the top. The actual main pick that's exposed is 59 millimeters from the tip of the handle to the tip of the pick. And the handle itself is 67 millimeters long, but that's not a critical dimension. There are 2 pins through it, and the handle is secured with I think it's Gorilla 2-part epoxy, and that's not caused any problems at all. Now, the only other thing I have done with this, which was a lot of work, I didn't grind this, I hand sanded it with emery paper, is the underside is sort of sanded on both sides, not to a point, but to a rounded edge, so it just glides over pins. So there is nothing rough under here. It's totally smooth. And it also makes it narrower. So it also, because it's quite thick steel, the narrow edge underneath helps it navigate keyways, I believe anyway. And again, I did the same, but not quite as harsh on the top curved edge as well. So this is all super, super, super smooth. But beyond that, it's really quite a simple thing. It's just a bit of time on a grinder and what looks right, if you like. But if you think about it, you're just grinding out from the underneath and from the top edge. You're actually not removing a great deal of metal at all. It's just a little bit of shaping and a little bit of sanding. But it has resulted in a very effective pick. So that's as much as I can do for the designs. Hopefully they are of use to someone. And if you do end up making something as a result of this, do please make a vid or share a pic or something. I'd love to see it, because I'd be very flattered, honestly, if someone did make it off of this. So that's it for tonight, and I hope you found that of use. And yeah, good luck with your picking. Cheers.